a step forward for Bengali mainstream, is what we had to say about Anirban Bhattacharya's debut directorial web series, Mandaar, streaming on Hoichoi. Mandaar had intention and promise written all over it, offering a refreshing approach to Bengali mainstream content without compromising on its intellect in its pursuit to engage and entertain. It is this intent, intellect, and understanding of the craft that is evident in all interactions with Anirban, in real, and on theatre stage, where he has mesmerized us time and again across the years. If you had the opportunities to watch his performances in productions like Debi Sharpamasta, Nag Mondola, Jara Agun Lagaye, or Mephisto, you would realize what a powerhouse of an actor this man is. And cinema has barely scratched on the surface of his potential yet. So obviously we were eagerly waiting for Ballavpurer Rupkatha since its announcement, the debut feature film directed by Anirban that is now released in theatres. We were eagerly waiting for the quality in content that Mandaar had promised, the creative mind Anirban is, and above all for the coming together of the contrasting worlds of Bengali theatre and Bengali cinema, a union that only someone like Anirban can pull through with his deep understanding of both the mediums. And he does it again. And how? Ballavpurer Rupkatha is such an effective comedy on screen after so long in Bengali cinema. And that is mostly because of the way director Anirban and his team balance between the two mediums, the theatrical source and the cinematic target. You see, the script by playwright Badal Sarkar is such an amazing one, so sharp in its characterizations and comic timings that one would be tempted to take it as is without further investment in the writing. Anirban and co-writer Pratik Dotto transform the stage play to screenplay, thus telling the story through visuals and not dialogues alone, thus achieving the fundamental of cinema making right. Say for instance, the play starts with a monologue by one of the characters addressing the audience, breaking the fourth wall, and thus setting up the premise of the story. Anirban and Pratik deviate from the easy route and invest on a completely original pre-credit sequence that again sets up the premise of the film but through visuals as cinema demands. In this finest set piece of the entire film, the audience is immediately hooked to what's going on as the flavor of the mystery, dread and comedy come together as a sharp-cut trailer to whatever the film has in store for the next couple of hours. The fourth wall breaking is still there, in a fun curtain call sequence at the end of the film, once again suggesting how Anirban keeps going back to theatre, his first love, but this time in far more control, only when the boundaries of the two mediums can dissolve with the focus more on screenwriting than script writing. The difficult task of reducing dialogues from each scene of the original text to make room for visual storytelling continues across Ballavpurer Rupkatha. We missed a few hilarious dialogues from the text, but then the visuals that you carry home more than compensates for it. The care to construct each frame, each image is visible. Compositions that often utilize theatrical character positioning works. Thanks to Anirban's collaboration with cinematographer Shomik Haldar this second time, the film gets its atmosphere and visual aesthetics pitch perfect. That long tracking shot that brings up the Ballavpur Royal Mansion for the first time on screen, the dual lighting at play in the chamber of shots within the mansion, or the off-focus vintage car driving into the village with a grasshopper on focus sitting on the tip of a leaf. The amazing Shomik Haldar adds up to a new layer to the fantasy of Ballavpur through his images. Images that talk of a different time of our social living. While there's the opulence of the decaying mansion we watch, the dread of the unknown in every dark corner, and the residual ornamentations around to suggest what this Rajbari was like back in its time of glory. What is unmistakable in the storytelling is the simplicity of the times that the film belongs to, experiencing a different world from the vision of director Anirban coming through the lens of Shomik Haldar, a world where the servant of the royal family is treated and respected like a father figure, a guardian in every need, where the art and culture is the shortest route to the woman's heart, where promises are valued and there's respect for the traditions and past as even businessmen fight over it, where money is an essential but yet not the only aspect of one's living. There are films which try to be feel-good, but Ballavpurer Rupkatha works effortlessly feel-good as all these elements gel beautifully into the screenplay, thus doing justice to the source of the content. Say for example, this character of Bolai, a Bohurupi as we call in Bengal. He is not there in the original text, but here he comes as an extension of a comic plot point. It works for adding to the comic set pieces of the film, but more importantly, it talks about the rural living in these parts of Bengal, which sets straight the time and space of the film. That's exactly what the cast also targets, as Anirban once more lays his faith on actors from theatre background. There's Surangana with a 60s heroine-like mannerisms, Debraj Bhattacharya and Shandip Bhattacharya hitting that sweet spot of being loud yet not caricaturist, or the three moneylenders reminding us of the golden era of Bengali cinema where such supporting cast elevated the films and weren't included just for the sake of lame gags. And then there's Shyamal Chakbraborty, lighting up each frame he is in with a performance easily among the best of this year, considering films from all Indian industries. Badal Sarkar had reserved the best lines for Monohar, and so does director Anirban, as new inclusions like Horihar or Monohari will feel seamlessly original to the source text. But does the man need dialogues at all? He steals the screen even if he is just standing there at the corner, with his expressions and timing. Satyam Bhattacharya, who was immensely impressive in Nirantar, has a deceptive, difficult role to play in this film. A king at heart, but almost a beggar at state, always toggling between gloom and glory. And then there's the best kept secret of the film, Raghuda. And that brings us to the only area of complaint that we have from Ballavpurer Rupkatha. It's not at the makers or the actors, but a complaint nevertheless. Let us explain. The film works fine till the point of suspense is retained. The mystery of the mansion prevails, but the visual exposition to the long built-up mystery falls short of the otherwise ambitions of the film. The atmosphere of Ballavpur, the cinematic canvas overall, needed something larger than life, both literally and figuratively. It must be with the constraint of budget that has been the issue here, and given a fraction of the kind of funding a Hindi or a Telugu movie manages, we are certain Ballavpurer Rupkatha would have offered with a more jaw-dropping climax. As we say, we aren't sure whom to complain here, but we perhaps know the way out here. Works like Ballavpurer Rupkatha need our support, our footfalls in the theatres, and words of encouragement for others to visit. Mandaar worked for the strong word of mouth it fetched, giving the makers the confidence to invest in something new, deviating from the assured templates of mainstream Bengali filmmaking. If the new film works, more confidence and courage is to come, not only for Anirban, but also for other makers and production houses to invest further on content and intent. That is all from us today. Thank you very much for watching.